Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's September 21st, 2023. We are in the Old Testament. We're in the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 11. Keep starting these talks these last few days off by pointing out that, a 21st century person, when I look at a history like we're getting here, we want it to be chronological. That's how we're used to getting that kind of an information. Hey, on year one, this happened, this happened, this happened. Year two, well, then this was the result, this was the result, this was the result. Three, then this happened, this was the result, this happened. And that's how we usually see our history. That's not usually the way the Bible presents it. Bible isn't necessarily concerned with that chronological. It wants to say, okay, this happened, and because this happened, which led to this, which led to that. Okay, now we're going to go back and say, okay, and this showed that this person was like this, which made them have this decision, which reinforced that idea, and we see that character develops, and then we go back and we do it again. That's what we're seeing here. We've got all these little arcs going. Okay, all these little events that we've seen didn't necessarily happen one after the other over the last few days that we've been reading, but they want us to see these little arcs and how they develop David's character. All right. You know what? We started. There was one where we saw David and the grandson of Saul, Jonathan's nephew, and we saw that. Oh, you know what? Saul was loyal to Saul. Saul was loyal to Jonathan. When he's loyal to your family, he's going to take care of you. He's going to search out the grandson. He's going to bring him to his table. Isn't that awesome? That's a great thing that David did. Oh, you know what? He's got the Ammonites, and David went to the Ammonites, and their king died, and he said, hey, I remember you guys did something good for me, and I'm really sorry. And they rejected him, and he said, well, you know what, if you're going to reject me, that's war. Yeah, that's war. We're coming after you. Okay, then I'm coming after you. So David's not initiating things. He was very generous to them, I guess we would say. And he was, he wasn't looking for trouble. They brought it to him along that lines. And we've seen all these little arcs of all these wonderful things that David did that developed his character, that showed us why God chose him to be king, essentially. Now we're going to get a story a little different. It's still that same thing. We're not necessarily seeing a chronological order of things, but we're going to go back and we're going to look at something that David did, and we're going to follow that through on an arc. And in this arc, we're going to see all those other arcs get ripped down and torn down. And we're going to see that sin of David with Bathsheba. And we're going to see that it starts right off the bat. I mean, the first thing we see is David, it's the season for war when the kings go out, but David didn't go out. So where was all this loyalty of him with his troops and how he took care of people? Well, now he's goofing off. He sees a pretty girl. Oh, well, David's loyal and David wouldn't do. Oh, no, he did that. Well, who is this girl? Well, she's the daughter of one of his generals and the wife of one of his soldiers. Oh, he's loyal to his troops, so he would never get. Oh no, he did get involved with her. Well, he's loyal to soldiers and he understands what it means. Well, no, he's fighting these Ammonites and showing us how magnanimous he is to his enemies. He was sending a note to Joab saying, hey, take him out into the front lines and leave him there so he gets murdered. So that's what we're seeing. So our author built all these little arcs to show us all the wonderful traits of David had to get to this arc where we're going to see how bad this sin was. It wasn't just adultery. He violated everything that made David good in the eyes of God, that makes David good in the eyes of us. And while the people were saying, oh, David's such a wonderful king, we're seeing behind that veil. We're seeing, no, you know what? When he made that decision to sin, it just led to another one, led to another one, led to another one, led to another one, led to, I don't know who this guy is compared to what we just saw him get built up as. So that's what we're looking at here. Let's go ahead and we're going to read 2 Samuel chapter 11. It happened in the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the people of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. And it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing. and the woman was very beautiful to behold. So David sent and inquired about the woman. And someone said, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" Then David sent messengers. Excuse me, let me get this page straight. Then David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him. And he lay with her, for she was cleansed from her impurity, and she returned to her house. And the woman conceived. So she sent and told David and said, "I am with child." Then David sent to Joab, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah had come to him, David asked how Joab was doing, and how the people were doing, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah departed from the king's house, and a gift of food from the king followed him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of the Lord, and did not go down to his house. So when they told David, saying, "Uriah did not go down to his house," David said to Uriah, "Did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house?" And Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open field. Shall I then go to my house to eat and drink and to lie with my wife? As you live and as your soul lives, I will not do this thing." Then David said to Uriah, "Wait here today also, and tomorrow I will let you depart." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. Now when David called him, he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. And at evening he went out to lie in his bed with the servants of his lord, but he did not go down to his house. In the morning it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, "Set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retreat from him that he may be struck down and die." So it was, while Joab besieged the city, that he assigned Uriah to a place where he knew there was valiant men. Then the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, "When you have finished telling the matters of the war to the king, if it happens that the king's wrath rises, and he says to you, 'Why did you approach so near to the city when you fought? Did you not know that they should shoot from the wall? Who struck Amalek, the son of Jerubbesheth? Was not a woman who cast a piece of millstone on him from the wall, so that he died in Thebez? Why did you go near the wall?' Then you will say, 'Your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead.'" So the messenger went and came and told David all that Joab had sent by him. And the messenger said to David, "Surely the men prevailed against us and came out to us in the field. Then we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also." Then David said to the messenger, "Thus you shall say to Joab, 'Do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it.' So encourage him." When the wife of Uriah heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.